Inspired by a legendary martial arts movie star and almost portrayed by his son on the big screen, this character has traveled a long and winding path to become the first Asian superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. His origin story began almost 50 years ago as part of the wave of martial arts heroes that swept both Marvel and DC Comics. He is considered to be one of Marvel's best heroes, of course. Let's dive deeper into the latest superhero to join MCU Phase 4. But first, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. The name Shang-Chi wasn't actually created until after the concept of the character was born. He first appeared in Special Marvel Edition 15 in 1973, which was soon renamed after the character to the hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. Before his comic book debut, the concept of Shang-Chi was created by writer Steve Englehart and artist Jim Starlin in 1972. He was intended to be the protagonist to a series Marvel hoped to publish based on Kung Fu, a show owned by Warner Communications. If you were Warner Communications, the owner of DC Comics, would you give the rights to an adaptation to DC's biggest rival? Of course not. Instead, Marvel acquired the rights to the eponymous villain of Sax Rohmer's novels, Fu Manchu. The idea of Fu Manchu came to Sax Rohmer after he asked an Ouija board how to become rich, and it spelled out Chinaman. That Ouija board wasn't exactly PC, but it did bring Rohmer his fortune. The character of Shang-Chi was created as the protagonist and Fu Manchu's son. The Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu series, published 125 successful issues until 1983, when Marvel's license to use Fu Manchu expired. Shang-Chi was inspired by the TV series Kung Fu, which was most likely based on the legendary Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's wife, Linda Lee Caldwell, stated in her book that Lee's ideas for the show, The Warrior, now an HBO Max show, were adapted by Warner Bros. Kung Fu. Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee, was later approached by Stan Lee to potentially play the role of Shang-Chi in a film or show. Unfortunately, the young actor passed away in an accident while filming The Crow in 1993. Like Bruce Lee, Shang-Chi is a master of martial arts. Born to an immortal criminal crime lord in a secret, ancient fortress in the Honan province of China, Shang-Chi trained to become a lethal assassin from a young age. Fu Manchu named his son Shang-Chi, meaning the rising and advancing of the spirit, and raised him as his heir to a heinous secret society. Manipulated into believing that his father was a noble and virtuous man, Shang-Chi dutifully obeyed him and rigorously trained with several masters in hand-to-hand combat. His training molded him into a martial arts master unrivaled in hand-to-hand combat, while instilling philosophical wisdom. As a result, Shang-Chi became a deadly, living weapon that seeks peace and harmony. Shang-Chi's first contact with the outside world came when his father assigned him his first assassination target, an old enemy of Fu Manchu living in England, after reluctantly killing Dr. Petrie, who is later revealed to be a robot clone of the real Dr. Petrie. Shang-Chi encountered an MI6 agent named Dennis Nayland Smith. Smith exposed Fu Manchu's true evil nature, convincing Shang-Chi to turn on his father and assist MI6 efforts to stop the criminal activities of his secret society. Despite refusing his offer to officially join MI6, Shang-Chi eventually grows fond of Smith and views him as a surrogate father. He also forms friendships with agents Black Jack Tarr and Clive Raston. In one of his missions, Shang-Chi meets secret agent Leiko Wu. The two would go on to develop strong feelings for each other. During his time working with MI6 to thwart his father's evil pursuits, Shang-Chi uses his mastery of all fighting forms. Despite not possessing superhuman abilities, his incomparable command of Chinese martial arts empowers him to defeat superhuman opponents in battle. The martial arts master can hold his own in hand-to-hand combat against the likes of Captain America and Spider-Man, both of whom later become his allies. In Shang-Chi 3, Shang-Chi overpowers Wolverine in a brief battle that sends the mutant over a cliff before Shang-Chi saves him. Though he is highly skilled with weapons such as NUNCHAKU, shuriken, spears, and swords, Shang-Chi prefers bare-handed combat. His use of his internal energy, or qi, enhances his kung fu and sharpens his focus to the point of being able to dodge bullets. It also gives him impressive control over his nervous system, which allows Shang-Chi to become impervious to pain, slow any bleeding, and withstand the effects of drugs or poisons. Shang-Chi committed himself to defeat Fu Manchu and his operatives. After battling many assassins sent by his father to kill him and hindering his many evil schemes, Shang-Chi finally kills his father and Master of Kung Fu 118, or so he thought. Guilt-ridden and repulsed with his life of violence, Shang-Chi attempts to retire, but soon discovers that his father is still alive and the head of the Order of the Golden Dawn. Shang-Chi confronts his father once more and kills him before moving to New York City with Leiko. In spite of his aversion to the deceitful life of a spy, and no matter how many times he tries to leave it behind, it always beckons his return. He comes out of retirement to help Tar and Ristan against the Sifan in the Marvel Comics Presents series. Afterward, he retires as a fisherman in a remote village in China, but Tar finds him and recruits his help against a terrorist group. The terrorist group leader poisons Shang-Chi, but he is able to cure himself with Fu Manchu's immortality elixir. In Shang-Chi Volume 1, Shang-Chi retires again as a baker in San Francisco's Chinatown, but Leiko finds him to recruit his help against the Five Weapons Society. Although Shang-Chi seeks a life of solitude and inner peace, his retirement seems to always be temporary. Marvel writers love teaming Shang-Chi up with other superheroes, such as Captain America, the X-Men, and Daredevil. In Marvel Knights, Shang-Chi joins the task force created by Daredevil to originally capture the Punisher. The group, which consists of the likes of Black Widow and Luke Cage, stopped various threats before going their separate ways. In the Heroes for Hire Volume 2 series, which takes place during Marvel's Civil War, Shang-Chi joins a group of investigators to track down superhumans, not in compliance with the Superhuman Registration Act. He develops feelings for his teammate, Tarantula. Tarantula, like Shang-Chi, is highly skilled in martial arts, but unlike him, suffers from severe bloodlust. Her influence and his attraction to her cause Shang-Chi to lose control. When Tarantula is betrayed by Humbug, Shang-Chi ruthlessly kills him. Ashamed of his actions, Shang-Chi leaves Heroes for Hire to regain connection with his chi. Shang-Chi teams up with Captain America in the Secret Avengers series to stop his father once again, who was resurrected with the help of the Shadow Council. As a result, Captain America would later offer Shang-Chi membership on the New Avengers, team after the war between mutants, and the Avengers in Avengers vs. X-Men. Shang-Chi accepts and becomes an Avenger in Avengers Volume 5. Tony Stark recognizes Shang-Chi's mastery of traditional weapons and eagerly supplies him with equipment, such as a pair of electrified NUNCHAKU. As a member of the Avengers, Shang-Chi goes on many missions to save Earth from cataclysmic threats, such as the Garden, the Builders, and the MCU Big Bad, Thanos. In Shang-Chi Volume 1, his half-siblings, Brother Saber and Sister Dagger, reveal that their father's organization is actually named the Five Weapons Society. Despite being killed by him, their father's spirit has chosen Shang-Chi as the next Supreme Commander. They ask him to depose their sister, Shihua, who is the current illegitimate leader. When Shang-Chi confronts Shihua and reveals their father's true nature, Shihua responds by poisoning him and unleashing a swarm of giant Shi, reanimated human corpses, to kill him. Shang-Chi is rescued by his half-siblings, but his wounds cause him to start turning into a giant Shi. During this time, his uncle's spirit visits him and advises Shang-Chi to embrace his identity and his family. After a battle that concluded with both Shang-Chi and Shihua in the astral plane, Shihua renounces their father and relinquishes her control over the Five Weapons Society. Plans for a film or show adaptation of Shang-Chi began as early as the 1980s, when Stan Lee approached Brandon Lee to play the role. When the actor died in 1993, no plans to create a Shang-Chi film resurfaced until 2001 with the hands of Shang-Chi. The rights for the project moved to DreamWorks in 2003, but Marvel Entertainment regained the rights for Marvel Studios a year later, after the success of minority lead movies like Crazy Rich Asians and Black Panther. Marvel Studios finally fast-tracked the movie in 2018. So what did you think about the true origins of Marvel's Shang-Chi? You can't choose your family, right? If you like this origin, please don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and like the video, cause there are a lot more coming. Thanks, and see you again soon.